WVTT is the news station that brings you news and information that you can depend on. We are first, fast, and accurate, bringing you the only local television news in the Twin Tiers. WVTT, depend on it.
Our first look at weather. We'll be seeing a few snow showers overnight tonight, Alexa.
Yeah, and it already started snowing. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
But you're not going to sing it, right?
No.
Yeah, we were talking over the break that maybe Alexa would grace us with her singing abilities, but it's...
I guess I'm camera shy.
Just not to be. Low temperature tonight, 25 degrees. We'll have full weather details, but no singing, right?
No.
Okay, full weather details straight ahead here on WVTT.
Now, WVTT Global News Update.
One company has found a way to make gasoline from air and water. It's a development that could revolutionize the way we get our fuel, and CNN's Dan Rivers has our story.
These days, filling up the car has become painfully expensive, and that's because often the oil or petroleum is coming from the other side of the world. But now, a group of scientists here in northern Britain claim they have perfected the theory of turning carbon dioxide into petroleum, using nothing more than the fresh air around them and electricity. The breakthrough was made here, a modest industrial lot near Darlington. Inside a couple of shipping containers, a group of scientists have built a mini refinery that doesn't need oil.
Hi.
Dan, hello.
Hi.
Peter Harrison is CEO of Air Fuel Synthesis. Would you say part of your mission is to try and save the world?
We believe we've got a technology that can make a significant impact and as a contribution towards greening up the world, but we're not saying it's the only answer.
Colleague Bob Jennings explains the science, which despite all these equations is actually quite simple. Air is combined with sodium hydroxide and passed through an electrolyser to separate the CO2. Water is similarly separated into hydrogen and oxygen. Then the CO2 and hydrogen are reacted together to make methanol and eventually petrol.
Right. In here is where we convert the methanol into petrol.
At the moment, this is all small scale and highly inefficient, producing just 5 litres a day, using a lot of electricity. But the team insists there is potential. And this is what ends up being petrol?
This is the petrol in here, yeah.
So if this was scaled up, you would start to get serious quantities of petrol.
We could make serious amounts of petrol, yes.
Dr. Lee Cronin is sympathetic.
Brutally murdered
but
dolphins
skeptical.
are mysteriously appearing along the Gulf Coast, and the search is on to find those responsible. Ed Lavanderia reports.
To reach the crime scenes, you need to catch a ride and take a guide.
And this island that we see off to our left, this is Deer Island, where you found 2 of them?
That's correct.
A Harrison County, Mississippi Sheriff's chopper and Moby Solangi, the lead biologist from the Institute for Marine Mammal Studies. They took us to see the sites where most of the murdered dolphins have mysteriously emerged along the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
So Moby, get us up to date. How many dolphins have turned up killed so far?
We've been dealing with about 6 or 7. We know that at least 3 or 4 of them are confirmed dead with bullets, and then the other ones have been mutilated, some with their tails cut off, jaws cut off, or a screwdriver in them.
Dr. Solangi performed the necropsies, or the autopsies, of all the murdered dolphins.
And what do you take away from that? What does that tell you?
I think it's kind of a sick ritual of some sort.
So someone kind of getting a thrill out of doing this?
I can't see any reason other than a kind of a horrific act to do something like that. I don't know.
The pictures of the mutilated dolphins are disturbing to look at. The bodies clearly show signs of attack, bullet wounds, and parts of the dolphins cut off, some too gruesome to show here.
Do you think this is a situation where you have a serial killer of dolphins?
It looks like we have a deranged person that is out there doing something cruel, repugnant, and senseless.
Federal investigators say they don't know yet if the murders are the work of one dolphin killer or all unrelated. But even in the wild, it's easy for a killer to lure in dolphins. Catherine Burton trains dolphins at the Institute for Marine Mammal Studies.
They are very curious. And I think by getting
out in the
fed,
wild.
yes, out in the wild, they will get fairly close.
So they can get themselves in a bad situation just unsuspecting.
Right, I think sometimes they get close without realizing they're going to be in any kind of danger.
That's why it's actually illegal to feed dolphins in the wild.
So this is Ship Island where one of the dolphins was found?
Right. Rusty Pittman is an officer with Mississippi's Department of Marine Resources, one of the agencies patrolling these waters.
I've never seen come up on a dolphin that's been shot. That's in 22 years.
It seems so much more difficult to investigate something like this. You know, if you have a murder of humans, you have evidence, there's a crime scene.
This you don't have.
This crime scene is huge.
They do, on the first dolphin that was recovered, they do have the bullet. They did recover the bullet. How much that will help, I don't know. But like you said, you've got so much area through here. This is totally different than a crime scene involving humans.
This part of the Gulf Coast is home to the largest population of dolphins anywhere in the United States, as many as 5,000. In the next few months, females will move in to give birth, and Moby Solangi fears baby calves could be the next victims.
This is gruesome, really. If it's somebody who's deranged, he's not going to stop.
The race is on to catch a dolphin killer before he strikes again. Ed Lavandera, CNN, Gulfport, Mississippi.
Time now to take a look at the closing numbers on Wall Street. Here's WVTT's Wall Street Wrap-Up. It's brought to you by News Radio 96.7 WVTT. An up day on the big board. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 107 points to close at 12,985. NASDAQ was up just shy of 24 points to close at 2991. And the S&P up 11 points, closing at almost 1410. Still to come on the 6 o'clock report, WVTT Sports, and also a complete look at weather. It's straight ahead here on News Channel 25 WVTT.